Young snipper snapper.
Perfect. Okay. We're good.
Bam!
Yeah, that's how we're starting it.
We should start the podcast every time with a soda pop. All right, welcome to episode 31 of Unscripted Strength. This is our podcast. I'm Ethan.
I'm Day.
And like I mentioned before, we've made it past 30 episodes, which basically means we're cooler than everyone else and we're official. So, yeah, we're going to, I guess, open this like we normally do, which is I'm going to beg you to subscribe and send this to people. I think we're funny. She thinks we're funny. Hopefully you think we're funny and sometimes informative. But yeah, please like, comment, subscribe. It's helpful for us. If you don't, I'll start clipping my fingernails too short so they start to like bleed a little bit and I'm uncomfortable until you start telling people to like, comment, and subscribe. That's my threat to you. So if you see my fingertips covered in Band-Aids, you caused this. We'll start with our training, and then we have some great questions today. I had an idea that we'll see if it's worth anything at all. So, Day, how's your training going?
It's good. It's good. I'm just still caught off guard with your
that make you
nail
uncomfortable?
clipping. It was kind of insane.
What do you mean
it was
insane?
like out of nowhere. I didn't know the extremes.
I didn't even know I was going to
getting
get there
likes
until I
and
said it.
subscribers, but I
do
really
anything.
appreciate the
You're welcome.
dedication.
It's dedication. I will do it.
Yeah.
I'm not scared. It'll hurt for a little bit.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You're not.
Every day.
You're not.
Every day. Just imagine me clipping my fingernails a little bit shorter every day.
Yeah. Not crazy at all. I think there was a movie. Oh, crap. What is it? I forgot what the name is, but Sydney Sweeney's in it. It was a recent movie. But essentially, in the movie, the husband asks the wife to do like these crazy things.
Mm-hmm.
He'll like lock her up and be like, to get out of here, you have to pluck 100 of your hairs, or I forgot how many, and I need to see the follicle of every hair you pluck. Just like crazy shit like that.
Huh.
It's crazy.
Give me some ideas.
Housemaid, something like that. The movie's called.
I don't watch scary movies because I'm a baby, and I freak out, and I can't sleep. I'm a child.
Yeah,
I hate them.
It depends what spectrum of scary it is. If it's like, let's say, like gory horror stuff, I'm just like, like unrealistic. It's like, but like realistic ones, like The Strangers. Do you remember that one? Years ago?
Yes. Is that where they're in a house and there's just people like outside the house coming in?
That's it. It's such a simple plot and it's so scary.
Yeah,
and
I
then
didn't watch
at the end, they're like, why are you doing this? Because we can.
Yeah,
it was like so simple and it was scary. So like
No.
stuff like that really freaks me the fuck
I won't
out.
watch any of it, of any genre. I hate scary stuff. And the worst part is like the supernatural stuff, like the paranormal. Paranormal? Is that the word? I will take flack from anyone. You can come at me. I'll argue this until the day I die. I don't believe any of it. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in spooky shit. I don't believe in any of it.
Yeah.
They terrify me. Terrify me.
Yeah.
And not like I don't know what it is. And I've had people be like, well, you're just subconsciously suppressing the fact that you believe in it. I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I just do not. I don't like the anxiety feeling. I'm so not used to feeling anxious anyway.
Yeah.
Because like we talked about last time, I have no working memory. So I'm not anxious because I forget things faster than I think of them. God, dude, scary movie. It just makes me feel anxious the whole time. And I'm like, I don't want this feeling. Get me out of here. I don't want this.
The more realistic it is, the more anxiety I get. But with the paranormal ones, I'm a gullible person. You can convince me anything. So if you have a scary ghost story or whatever, like, I'll believe it, honestly. So yeah, that's where I stand on that. So if they create a movie that's like paranormal or whatever, and they lead off with like based on true events, I'm like, shit, this stuff is real.
What's the witch one that was really famous? Where they're like in the woods and there's a witch. It's like shot on a handheld camera. Oh shit, this is so stupid. I'm sure. Hopefully someone watching knows immediately.
I bet you Marley does.
Yeah, but
I don't
that
know.
one I haven't even watched that one. Oh my god, this is so dumb. I can't think of it. Anyway, yeah, I don't like any scary movies.
So training.
How's your training going, Dave?
Yeah, standard. It's pretty standard, nothing crazy.
How's your 4x4s going?
Good. Yeah, those are going good actually. So I do them usually Wednesday or Thursday. So like tomorrow's going to be kind of a busy day. So I'll probably end up doing it Thursday. So that's been going good. It's been fun, kind of just getting more information and all that. Getting used to running at those like faster paces, which is good for me. Like I need that. One thing I've noticed, because I've been doing like lactate measurements over 3 weeks, and one thing I noticed is like my lactate doesn't get very high. And so I was talking to Marley about it, of like why that is, and I think it's I can't get into that energy system efficiently. Like my body doesn't, because I don't do much of that work in that way. So I think I'm not like efficient there. So it doesn't get high, but it clears pretty fast, and that's because I do a lot of slow, easy volume type of conditioning stuff. So it clears very quickly. I've noticed like that as a trend, but it doesn't get as high to begin with. So when I'm running at the paces, right, I feel like I'm dying. My heart rate's like through the roof. Like by the third set towards the end, like my heart rate is like 195 to 200. So like I'm pushing it, and it like technically I shouldn't be pushing that hard, right?
Yeah, that's why I laughed. I am surprised that you're doing that.
Yes, but I'm still like, I shouldn't be, like if I were to do it like a true actual 4x4, I shouldn't be getting I don't think it, because at that point I am going like, and I feel it too, I feel like subjectively I'm going closer to that max effort. But when I go and take the measurements, my lactate's pretty low, and so I'm like, so then I take repeated measures to make sure, right? So like I'm not, because especially the lactate meters are not the most reliable things.
Sure.
That's why like in the lab for like research stuff, we usually do like what they call ELISAs, but it's an assay where we're taking serum lactate measurements through serum through this like multiple hour long process versus the lactate meter, you put a little bit of blood and it tells you this reading, but it's not as reliable. And there's a lot of things that could go wrong, whether it's when you're swabbing it with the alcohol wipe, or if you're pressing down on the finger, when you do the finger prick and you're pressing down, that could adjust the reading, the timing of the reading, all this stuff. So I take repeated measures to make sure that it's reliable. Sometimes you'll get some wonky numbers that are clearly outliers. But that being said, my numbers just don't get that high. And I did the backpack trial also months ago in the lab. So I was able to get my lactate measurements through assay readings from my serum that was taken out. And so the backpack trial, for anyone who's listening and doesn't know what that is, that's essentially the research project one of the research projects that I'm working on, where we have people come in, do a max effort treadmill run, and with increasing intensity every 3 minutes. And the subject comes in, they do 2 different trials or 2 different exercise visits. The first one is without a backpack in combat uniform. The second one is same thing with a 45-pound backpack. So I got my lactate, and both of them are VO2 max tests, right? So you go in max effort until failure. And I got my lactate readings on both of those, so I can see the time progression from stage to stage with intensity, how lactate looks, and it has the normal shape that you should see, which is increasing, and there's a point of where that increase kind of takes off, and that's the point, one of the thresholds, right? But one thing I noticed with that one too, again, my heart rate would shoot up. For both trials, my heart rate got to like 205. And I remember I physically felt like I was gonna fucking die.
Yeah, 205 is crazy.
Yeah, and I remember like, because it's a 3-minute interval, and I remember thinking like, I got one more minute, and then I'm like, I can't sustain this anymore. Like my heart might explode. And anyways, my lactate didn't get high on those readings too. So
it matches.
Right? So heart rate, it gets super high, and to me, I'm like, I am working max effort. And if you were to look at my lactate reading and not have any other information, you'd be like, oh, that's not max effort, because it's like, it's high, but we wouldn't say it's that high to the point
that
where
max point.
Yeah. So
but it may be for you.
Yes, for me, because I think I can't get into that energy system efficiently. Versus like if you look at someone like Kelly, if you look at her, right? She is she's very powerful. So she is an endurance athlete technically, but she's great in the sprint triathlons, right? Because she could really push for those short distances. And like her lactate gets super high because she can really go into that energy system efficiently.
Interesting.
Versus me, just fucking rando. Yeah, I'm just like trying, and my heart's like, wow, we're going max effort. My body's like, what energy system?
Yeah, what are we doing?
Like that energy system doesn't exist. We only go slow and long.
Okay, so my dumb clarifying question for you is when lactate is building and not like when you're not clearing it anymore, when it starts to spike, does that contribute to that feeling of like, oh, my muscles just aren't working anymore?
Yeah, there's like an
Yeah.
accumulation of fatigue
Yeah.
there, and there's like
And obviously other things are happening
other
too in the
things are
background.
happening, right? And it creates like this acidic background, and
Yeah.
now like you're not utilizing the substrates as much, and it's this whole thing.
The factory closes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I get there very quickly.
Yeah. And I think
I get to factory closing very fast.
Yeah, especially if you don't do that type of work, right? And that's why like the best programs are those that work those different energy systems. If you only do long, slow, you're not going to get
punchy and
you can last for a long time, but you only have one gear. If you're only doing VO2 max type workouts, then you're accumulating way too much fatigue that won't allow you to recover, and you're also not getting the volume that you need to be able to sustain a long distance. So it's always a mixture. But the I guess what people most people are familiar with the fact that they need to have a mixture of all those elements, right?
Sure.
But then the question becomes how much of each, and that's where things get more like individualized, right? Based on recovery, based on lifestyle factors, based on
what you want to do.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you're a marathon runner or an ultra athlete and that's what you're doing, you don't maybe need as much punchy work. You still do, like having it there is good, but you wouldn't do most of your work in the high end range, right? Or maybe you would.
You're saying if
you're an ultra marathon runner, those energies, like you still want to be well balanced. But, the majority of their work probably isn't going to be in working on, thresholds.
Yeah.
Or maybe
it is, depending on the
maybe
person,
they're really
right?
weak in that field, and that will increase. Because that was something you had talked about with us when we were going over VO2 stuff, was that it actually might be that, like, you can keep pushing up your VO2 max, and the outcomes on, the field or whatever sport you're playing may not be the thing you're looking for. Like, it may be that a different area that you are weak in is what you need to be focusing in because the other one's so strong.
Yeah.
Like for you to keep, like you continuing to, like if you only did like long zone 2 boring shit, your other systems would not be as strong.
Yeah.
So then if you raced and you, like Kelly, also shout out Kelly, we watched, what race was that, in Mexico?
That was
it Mexico?
It was Mexico,
Yeah.
yes, because a Mexican girl won, which was cool because she won.
But watching her race that, like she kicked into a gear that none of the other ones had at the very end of that race.
Yeah.
I mean, went from 6th place or 7th place
Great example
to second,
of that.
and just absolutely smoked them.
Yeah.
And those girls are watching her run by, and it's probably that they're like, oh, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Like, I
That's
don't
not
have
gonna
another
happen.
gear right now, and that's exactly what she's good at.
Yeah.
Because like again, and that's reflected in like her testing data is she can kick into this gear. Her lactate can get so high. She can really go into that energy system and like just produce all of that lactate and still be able to perform with that high concentration. And it shows when she races in those moments.
That was crazy to watch.
Yeah, because like she was like in 8th place, and I told you I was like
she's fine. She's got it.
Yeah, she's got it. She does this thing where she'll just go and sprint and finish off, and like she kicks into another gear that other people can't. And that's like where her like weapon is, and it's so cool to watch because like she'll just go, and then it's just so fun watching them race.
That was fun. I don't think I've watched a couple of races like that, but that was fun to watch. And you were so hyped.
Yeah,
we're like in the airport, and Day is like bouncing in the seat. Yes.
Yeah, it's just so fun to watch. Like it's cool now in the summer because they're all racing, like all of these different races across the world. And I just have it on my calendar, like, oh, this weekend, this person's racing. Like this weekend, there's a few going to Chile, and they're doing like a pretty big race over there, which is it's fun. And then there was one this past weekend, which three of the girls competed in, and they all did really well, and I was super excited for that. Another one raced as well this weekend in another country, and she came in 6th place. And she's also like, they're all just so great.
Monsters.
So,
Monsters.
So
that's
fun.
great.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I like that. Thinking about that stuff is fun.
Yeah.
And reading about it and just talking to you about it.
Yeah.
Because like as soon as I said it, like an ultramarathoner not needing that gear, it's like, oh, well, actually, we've talked about this, but the fallacy of runners. Runners think the weightlifting they need is, well, I do high volume work, so I need high volume work in the gym. And it's like, well, actually, maybe not.
Yeah.
You probably don't. Why do we need more volume on your volume? We need more intensity or a different kind of workload. But yeah, like the thing I'm really bad at is long endurance work. I suck. I'm so bad at it. But doing the bike here, like just doing all these sessions of like 45-minute, hour long, just sitting on the bike and keeping my heart rate steady, even that has gotten so much easier.
Yeah.
So much easier. And that's the gear I don't have. Like I'm really punchy. I've got a lot of pop. I don't have the sustainability.
Yeah.
And I can do like medium to high intensity interval stuff and come down really quickly and like keep going with that. But I do not have the ability to sustain long bouts of effort.
Yeah.
Which is not going to be fun in November. But I'll fix it.
Yes.
I will fix it. I will not be the worst on the team. Someone will. But well, that's fun.
Yeah.
Anything else with your training?
With my training?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this weekend for the home gym, we've added a multi-grip bar.
Yes.
So that's fun. So I started benching with that last week just for fun. It's just to add a different element because I have the bar. Why not do that? So multi-grip bar, added a Thompson fat pad bench. So that's going to be fun. I'll be using that today. Got more weights just so, if you're squatting and I'm deadlifting, now we can do it at the same time and not have to figure out the weight situation. So that's nice. What else did I get this weekend?
An easy bar, right?
Yeah. So
another easy bar.
Yeah. So it was funny. So the guy, so I have a Facebook account that I don't use. It's literally, I have 0 friends, nothing. There's no pictures, nothing. I just use it solely for Facebook Marketplace. So this guy posts the fat pad for sale, a new barbell.
Oh yeah,
right?
the Ohio
a barbell, all the weights, and a really good deal, and everything looked in really good condition. So I was like, he posted this 20 minutes ago. I need to
absolutely
reach out now and like claim it. So I reached out, and then I see that he reads it because the little icon comes up, and then I see that like the listing is removed, all this stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, there's no way someone bought it 20 minutes ago, although it was a really good deal, so I could see that maybe someone claimed it or whatever. But I'm like, you know what? I think he blocked me because he thought that I was some random like spam person.
Yeah.
Right? And then like I don't pull my full name. I just have Day M. Like the whole thing is sketchy, but I only use it for Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
So then I look over to Marley and I'm like, hey, can you look up this listing and reach out to this guy? I think he blocked me. Rightfully so. Like he has a good reason. And so she reaches out. He replies really quickly. And then he was like, I have a few people already interested, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, yeah, we can go as early, whatever time earliest you can.
Yeah.
And we'll go pick it up. So we did. And he was a really cool dude. Definitely like old school strength training, like follows Mark Ripito, all of
Absolutely.
that. And I was like, yeah, so he was talking to me about training and it was fun. It was really great. And he started giving us like, oh, I have this too. Oh, there's this easy curl bar. Take this. Oh, take this. And he just started giving us stuff. So I have a deadlift jack now, finally.
Yes.
So,
how sick.
Yeah. It was really cool.
You should have been like, hey, follow the podcast.
I know.
You must follow the podcast.
I should have.
You'll love it.
Yeah.
We'll shout you out.
Yeah. We don't do none of that woo woo shit.
No, dude. No coil in here, brother.
Yeah, starting strength.
We run 5x5s only.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all we're doing.
Yeah, because he then asked me like what type of training I follow, and I was like, well, now at this point, like I follow a lot at this, and all that. But I did start with like a West Side approach, like conjugate training, and I'm like, I loved it. Like, you learn so much from doing that and just reading all of their material. And I'm like, and that was years ago, but that's like, I always say that's what raised me. And he was just like, oh, and then he started going off and blah, blah. And obviously he then put 2 and 2 together. He's like, oh, Thompson fat pad.
Yeah.
They love that shit and blah, blah. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
How fun. So the garage gym is the best gym in Tucson.
It is. It
period.
Really is.
There's no better. It's not better than Block Fitness. It's not better than anything, dude. Day's Garage is where it's at. I will say I do have a complaint to file. I heard someone's trying to convince you to not get the belt squat.
That is true.
And I will not say his name.
And you know what? Here's the thing. So the Voltra, right?
Yeah, sure, whatever that dumb thing is.
It looks really cool, and I hear really great things about it.
It's too weak.
But no, yeah, that's what it is. I like the idea of having a rhino belt squat. Like, I don't know, I just already committed to the idea.
If you're listening to this in your car, I want you to turn the video on because I'm looking at you and you know who you are.
That being said, I still plan to get the Voltra eventually.
Whatever.
And that setup will still be existent. I just need now both.
Dude, I'll pay you to not get it just to win this.
Yeah, I'll just have both.
For anyone wondering what is going on, Day is getting a belt squat. Maybe getting a belt squat. Probably getting a belt squat.
Yeah. Which I already have one.
Yeah, it sucks. We don't like it.
We don't
I've never even used it. A belt squat is like a platform. You put a belt on your hips. It connects to this lever, and you put weights on it. You squat with it. So you don't have to have stuff on your back. They're incredible. You can do crazy stuff with it. But someone, I will not name him, like Voldemort, was trying to convince Day not to get this thing. Yeah. Him and I talked today. We squared it away. No, he's probably right. It's cool too, whatever. But I have to be right. I can't be wrong, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
No, it'll be great. It'll be great. It'll be the best gym ever. It's already the best gym ever.
Dude, I love it. I'll like at night in the evening, I'll go in and I'll like lock the door and all that stuff. And every time I do, I'm just like, I just take like a deep breath and I'm like this is the life. And I just like, slowly close the door and walk away.
Do you open the thing? You're like, good night, moon.
Yeah. Basically, that's what I'm doing.
What does that say?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just making. We're good.
We're good. It's still recording.
It was not blowing up. Okay, mind training is normal and boring and fine. I'm just trying to increase my cardiovascular health. Mm-hmm. That's all, so that I'm not a loser piece of shit when we go and do this race. Which I won't be. It'll be fun and friends, except for the voice in my head saying that you were the worst on the team. That'll be the only thing that's problematic, and that's okay. I can be that. I've been that before. No, my training's fine. I'm following a program that I'm not writing. Thank God. I got tired of doing that for a little bit. It's like 3 to 5 days of lifting and then 2 to 3 cardio sessions. 2 of them are long and easy. One of them is like a true track sprint work. I did not do the sprint work last week. Turns out I'm not dedicated to that life. No, I'm just super busy, and and we've talked about this, the thing that falls off my calendar quicker is exercise, which is what it is. I worked out 4 times last week, which is victory. And 4 times is a great amount. But, I'm shooting for 5 this week, 4 to 5, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
That's it. I'll work out today. I'll probably run, how hot is it? Oh, it's not bad. It shouldn't turn off.
That shit's going to turn off. It's going to turn on and just shut right off, honestly.
But yeah, my training's going good. I kind of want to... The plan is to pull off like 20 pounds. I'm weigh about 220 pounds right now of chunky boy. Is to get down to like 195, 200 ish, and just see how running feels 20 pounds lighter. Probably significantly better. And then just like the next 4 months, start phasing over running more than lifting, and do like 2 to 3 days a week of lifting, 45-minute sessions, and then really scale up the cardio.
Yeah.
And try to love cardio. Dude, the bike's great. Biking is so much fucking easy. Running is stupid. Biking is so much cooler. It's so much easier. It's crazy.
That bike is amazing.
Yeah, that bike's amazing out there. But even road biking is easier than that bike.
Oh yeah.
It's like
besides the whole balance and like
scariness
skill
of cars
and all that.
and,
Yeah.
Sure.
I can't do that, but
that's fine. But like on a stationary bike, you don't ever get to stop pedaling.
Yeah.
On a road bike, if you get a downhill, I just hop up to 25 miles an hour and then just cruise for a second and then cruise.
Yeah.
It's easy. Well, it's not easy. What you guys do on bikes is easy. You're lame. Just joking. But yeah, so I'm gonna become a cardio queen.
Yeah, you are.
I'm gonna be a cardio queen. I'll change my Instagram bio, my Instagram title. It'll be at Ethan Boost, Cardio King and or Queen, depending on how I'm feeling. And that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. So, okay, because I know you've been adding in the bike a lot to do like those longer sessions.
Yeah.
When are you going to start increasing the running volume so that there's like an increase in tissue tolerance? And how will you do that?
So right now I'm doing like 90 to 150 minutes a week of biking, which is probably not enough because it's not hard, but it's a start. And then I'm just going to honestly pick a number with mileage and see how my ankle responds, and then just slowly pick that up.
Yeah.
And then the thought in my head was, when I get to, this is arbitrary, completely made up, 6 to 7 miles a week, I will start pulling back the biking and increasing the running.
Okay.
And just see how I feel.
Yeah.
I literally feel like I could bike every day and not feel anything. Running is really hard on my body.
Yeah.
I feel old saying that. It's just way harder, and I'm not used to it. I don't have like a bunch of years of running, and I know the trick with running, for any of you, if you want to hear the real secret, I can solve this problem for you. Run for a decade, and you'll be good at running. That is the truth of running, right?
Maybe.
Just run.
I don't know. Some people are.
True. I know. Some people are stupid idiots. Like, who is it? Blake that's on our team?
Yes.
Yeah. Didn't he just like start and was like, oh yeah, I'm just like casually running 15 miles a week.
Yeah.
It's like pretty easy, whatever. God damn it, dude.
Yeah. I think
right,
some
well.
people are. I think that has to do a lot with like body type and all that, but some people just mechanically can handle a lot more volume and not go through the whole, phase of like the feeling, the not injuries, but like the nagging, pains and all, and aches and pains from running. Like, I know when I started picking up running, I'm not gonna say I never. I didn't feel much like nagging pains or anything like that. I was able to like increase mileage and it went pretty smoothly versus like, some people may have a different path to that.
Yeah.
And it's weird. It's, some people can handle a lot of volume when it comes to the mechanic, like not looking at pacing or anything like that, how well they run, but they can just handle like the volume of running.
Yeah.
And some people just like are more prone to, those type of injuries. And it's always interesting to see.
It's so weird.
Did I tell you the story of my friend when we went for 8 Mile
No.
run? Okay. So she was an intern at the U of A with me. Well, I was working there. She was an intern. We got along super well. She was a former D1 softball player. And she was young. She just graduated from college. She just finished her softball career. She went into the strength and conditioning space. She's currently, I always get mixed up with Mississippi or Missouri. She's somewhere in Mississippi. She won't listen to this. So.
Mississippi, Missouri?
Yeah. One of those humid states. She's there now, and she's a strength coach, and she's working with like the baseball team and all that. And she's an athlete, like strong, like really fucking strong. She's just good, and she was a great softball player too, and she's powerful. And there was one day where I was like, hey, I'm going on a Saturday morning run, because maybe like I'll make friends. Like, once I make friends with someone, I'll just start inviting them to everything. So with her, I was like, I'm going on a Saturday morning run. You want to join? Knowing damn well this girl doesn't run. She's like an athlete. She's not an endurance athlete. And she's like, yeah, I'll join. She's, me and her were working together and we started getting along really well. And we're like, let's hang out outside of work. So she joins me on it. And I'm like, it's 8 miles. It'll be really slow and all that stuff. You'll be fine. You're young. You're like 22.
Yeah, you do whatever you want.
Good, yeah. And so she joins and she does like, we're talking the whole time and all that stuff. And the next day she's like, I can't fucking squat because my foot's fucked up. I think I broke it. She's pissed at me, like super pissed. And then like in hindsight, I'm like, no, she doesn't run. And I invited her to 8 Mile run.
8 Mile run.
And like she's also smart. So she's like, I'm an idiot for going to 8 Mile run. But she put more of the blame on me.
I would too.
And so she wasn't able to like put any pressure on her foot or anything like that. So luckily, at the U of A, we work right next door with the ATs. So she went and saw the AT, and the AT that was checking out her foot. She's like, they fucking just invited you to an 8 Mile run, knowing that you don't run. And I'm like, she's an athlete. Like, what do you want me to do?
Do it.
Honestly, take it as a compliment.
Why do you think I say no to you every time? Because you're not gonna not run 8 miles for me. I better fucking run 8 miles. Every time, it's just an easy run. I'm like, no, you're not. That's not what's going to happen. I'm too dumb to fall for this trick, dude. No. I'm not doing that.
She's fine now. She literally recovered quickly. Like, by the end of the week, she was fine. However, she was pissed because she wasn't able to put any pressure on her foot, so she wasn't able to squat most of her days. She's a crazy squatter. She'll, like, send me videos, and she's just like, I don't know, she just keeps getting stronger, and I'm like, is there a plateau at any point? It's crazy.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But
yeah, you runners are weird.
But she's running now because she's got a High Rocks coming up.
Oh,
yeah, she's doing it with her mother-in-law.
And you said, so. What about now, motherfucker?
Yeah, exactly.
Huh? You running now?
Yeah.
How's your 8-mile run?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not built to run. I like kickboxing. I feel like I had some injuries, but they were expected. You know, it was like not car crashes, but car crash injuries, like contact injuries, not overuse injuries. And then lifting, I've had a couple, like, you know, nags here and there, but over the last 5 years, like, not much. Like, my knees. But the knee problem is from kickboxing, from falling on my kneecaps and fucking those up. Dude, running, instantly. My ankle gets fucked up, like a microfracture in the base of my pinky toe. Just running. Just normal-ass running.
Yeah.
I lift for so long, no problems. Kickbox, no problems. Minus, like, normal kickboxing shit. The second I start running, my body's like, ooh.
We're not doing that, sweetie.
Listen, you're kind of big right now. Okay, we're not doing this. Not going to happen. We're going to stop you. So, we'll see. I'll figure it out or I won't. No, I'll figure it out. It'll be great.
Yeah.
I'll love it.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. But yeah, to your point of the 8-mile run, so many clients at Block are in this run club. Come on, come out, run. Come out, run. And I know what that means.
Yeah.
I'm running your race.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Like when Carmen and I went with Jacob, I'm running Jacob's race.
Yeah.
We're just breathing hard.
You just got to keep up. God. Right.
Yeah. And then the worst is when you go run with a good runner and you're like, and they're like, no, I'll go your pace. And it's like basically a walk to them. And you know, like they're being nice, but in their head, they're like, Jesus Christ, dude, what am I doing? I was supposed to run today. And the worst is when you finish that run and you go, okay, we're done. And like, actually, I'm going to take off and go do my run after this warm-up. And you're like, whatever, dude. And you're like sweating, a headache, you're tired, your feet hurt, whatever.
Yeah. There was a reel that I saw on Instagram the other day, and it was funny. It was like this girl and her boyfriend, and it was like the different perspectives, and she's on her run, right? And she's like, my zone 3 run or whatever for the week, and she's like running, and then he's just like walking next to her, and he's just like looking at her, and he's just casually walking.
That's how I feel every time I run with someone. I'm like huffing like a dog who can't breathe. And the other person next to me is like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I did a 5K with my buddy Jose. I'm sorry I keep taking my hat off. Somebody's poking me in here. I did a 5K with my buddy Jose, and I kept texting him. He's an Army guy, the one we did the Murph with.
Yes.
So he was a sniper in the Army. He, like, did these decathlons. He's, like, in crazy shape. And he comes back to Tucson last year. And he's like, oh, you know, I'm out of shape. I'll run this 5K. It was, like, the downtown Tucson 5K or whatever. And I was like, no, Jose, we don't have to do this. Like, no, you'll run your pace. I'm like, no, you won't, but okay, whatever. And so we get out there. He's got his carbon fiber shoes on. He's like fucking ready to go. Oh yeah, dude, I haven't been running or biking much, whatever, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, this is going to be terrible. And I'm like, hey, I'm running like an 11-minute pace for this. Are you okay with it? Oh, yeah. It's fine. And we get to the start line, and I'm like, hey, do you want one of my headphones? So we can just, like, listen to music and vibe. And he's like, yeah, sure. And then right before we start, he's like, hey, just sit on my heel. Like, just follow me. Okay, great. We start the fucking race, and we're going at, like, a 9:01 pace. And if you're not a runner, that's significantly faster than what I normally run. A lot faster than I normally run. And we do the first mile at like a 9:01, and I'm not gonna be dropped by him. And we finished the first mile, and my heart rate's like 197. I'm absolutely smoked.
Yeah.
And we get to a mile and a half, and I've like walk run this half mile. He turns, hands me the headphone, and goes, "I'm gonna finish this race," and just takes off and finishes in like 25 minutes or something. And I came in like 31, which is fine. But it was just like, that's this runner bullshit. And
Yeah.
who he is. Like, I knew this was going to happen. There's no way. And he knew what was happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't trust runners. I mean, that's like coming into lift with me. Like, if someone who wasn't lifting, I think I'd be nicer, honestly. Well, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't. But if someone was like, hey, I'm going to come do legs with you on my leg day, I'd be like, okay, but you're doing my leg day. We're not doing your leg day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing legs with me.
405.
Yeah, we're doing my leg day. And I'll choose the intensity. I won't choose the weight, but I'll choose the intensity.
Yeah.
And I think I'd probably crush someone on accident. Like, you're fine, dude. Come on. Your legs are just a little shaky. You'll be okay.
You'll be okay.
So yeah, my training's fine. Whatever. Okay, we had some questions. I'm gonna pull these questions out. Should we show off our stickers?
Yeah, show it off. You have it right there.
Right before we finish, I'll show them off. Okay, our questions. I'll do that one after. I actually talked to Crystal in person about my ADHD. She left the comment, but it was to help, I believe, her daughter. What do you think could have helped you more as a kid from what you know about yourself, if anything? We talked in person. There's this thing called body doubling where you're just with the person while they work, and it is super helpful. I don't remember why. I really have no idea, but it is very helpful.
What do you mean by that? Like, you sit...
Like, if I needed to get shit done and I needed to be productive and not get distracted, like if I was working here, I would just come work in here while you worked, right there. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to talk to me. It's just someone being next to me is super helpful.
Dude, you should just do that.
Just come here.
Yeah. We could just set up like a table, like a desk here.
We just have to get a couple fans in here.
Yeah.
Or an Aussie.
Yeah.
Because now you'd have Aussie and me.
Yeah.
And I'm not holding the farts back for you.
Yeah.
They're coming out, dude.
Yeah, Aussie lets them out all the time.
It would be a gas tank.
Yeah, it would smell really bad.
So body doubling is one. And honestly, like, sometimes it's just like asking, kids don't always know what they need, but sometimes they're pretty intuitive. Asking what would be helpful for them. I think as adults, it's easy to project what you think is helpful. Not like that's a bad thing, but, there are times where like people would ask me what I wanted, and I'm like, oh, and then it's like a moment where like now I can be autonomous for the things I want, and that can be helpful. And the timeline thing is really hard. Some ADHD people are different. If you give me a long timeline to complete something, I'm going to complete it in the last hour, no matter what. It's just how, like, the great example is our blog that just came out. It must have been a week before, and Day was like, I need this blog post. And I was like, I'll do it tonight. And then, of course, I didn't, which I just forgot. It's just in a notebook somewhere, and I didn't look at it. Well, actually, it just kept getting pushed. However, you messaged me. Yes. And we're like, I need this blog post, or I'm going to write it for you. We were leaving to go to a party for my my sister-in-law's birthday. And I was like, shit, I dropped everything. We had to be there at 4:45. You must have texted me like 4:30.
Dang. Okay.
Everything. I'm like in my chonies getting ready. I'm at the desk and I'm furiously typing away. And I'm like, babe, you got to come proofread this, please. And she walks in, she's like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, we can't talk about this, you just need to do this right now. And then she proofreads it, fixes a bunch of shit, and then I sent it to you.
Yeah.
Really good under pressure. So the long answer is...
It was sitting there for like a week.
What was? Oh, the blog.
Yeah, it was ready to be sent out. Just needed your input on the last bit.
So yeah, what advice would I give to someone if you want to be helpful for someone with ADHD? Timelines. You cannot give me long timelines. The weird science is like my frontal lobe does not connect long-term consequences. So if I have a thing that's very far away, there's no stress for me of getting it done now because the timeline's in the future. So the way I make myself get shit done is I make artificial timelines or I gamify things. Like if I complete certain tasks, I get to do certain things. My childhood, it was video games. So like if I would finish my homework, I would go play video games, and that was like the what I got from it, the reward. So rewards are great, and then timelines, don't make them negative, just make it positive. Like instead of saying like, hey, you laughing at my burp over here? Brought to you by little DC, little Diet Cokes here. Come at me, Crystal. Timelines, don't make them negative, make them a positive. So like instead of being like, hey, you need to get this done by blah blah blah, which is just going to piss me off, I'm not going to do it, make it a challenge. Like, hey, how fast do you think you could get this blog post done? Yeah, whatever. You figure out clever ways to like gamify something And then that makes me be like, oh shit, this is fun. And then I'll do it. But, other stuff is like, oh my God, whatever, I'll just do this later. And yeah, there's just no consequence. And like, if you think like, oh, you're just being lazy, I'll literally kill you myself. I've spent my whole life dealing with this. I wish I could just be normal. But yeah, gamify stuff. Make things a game. And then if you're like, whoa, that's not how life is. Yes, it is. That's it. The thing that drives me so crazy thinking about school is so many teachers being like, that's not how, you're not going to be able to do this or that in the real world. Yeah. And then I got to jobs and they were like, dude, I don't give a fuck how you do it. Figure out how to get it done quickly. And then you look back and you're like, God, why did everyone tell me that the world was going to be so, you can't use your phone to do that in the real world? The fuck I can't use my phone. This thing is my life. Like, imagine I was at work and someone was like, hey, I need you to figure out how to do this. And I was just like, I don't know how. What, am I allowed to use resources? Is that okay?
Yeah. That's
it's crazy.
The cool thing about engineering school, at least, is like, exams are like, yeah, use whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Like, you have textbook, you have this or whatever, like,
yeah.
It's still gonna be hard as fuck, so good luck.
Yeah, good luck, dude. And that's how work is. Like, you know how many jobs or things I've had to do at this job, the app, everything I do, where someone's like, this needs done, and in my head I'm like, I have no idea how to do that.
Yeah.
Imagine I went back to my boss and was like, sorry, am I allowed to use my notes for this? Am I allowed to? It's like, in the real world, you just cheat. Like, it's just cheating. Like in school, what I would have done in school to pass now is considered cheating. Yeah. But in the real world, that's just being a normal, resourceful person. Like, I'm using all my resources available to me. So anyway, gamify shit, do whatever you can to make things more successfully done and operated. Don't be weird, do cool shit. Use your fucking phone. Not in school, kids, because they'll call you a cheater or something. Anyway, that's my spiel. What do you got?
I had a friend, one of my best friends. I was her maid of honor. She was my maid of honor. So I've known her since I was like 4 or 5. Yeah.
It sounds like it's like a post-mortem, like she was dead. This one broad
or like we had like a fallout.
Yeah, this
like,
chick I knew, whatever.
This bitch,
fucking loser, idiot.
Yeah, Rebecca Blackwell is her name.
Shout out, dude.
I've known her forever.
This chick she knows.
Yeah, and we went to school, elementary, middle, high school together, and she has ADHD, and it would crack me up because like I was a really good student. I paid attention. I was also really quiet and like very obedient. This girl doesn't shut the fuck up. Like she's very smart and artistic and all that, but she just doesn't. She can't sit still or be quiet. And I remember like teachers would have a little secluded area in the classroom, her in the corner, and she would have her own like desk and like dividers. So she was like completely blocked off from the rest of the class. I think I was talking to her about it like a few years ago, and I'm like, yeah, they would just like put you away in the corner. And I just remember like looking back and it's like, where the fuck's Rebecca? And she's like in this little desk.
We're keeping her contained.
Yeah, like they had to contain her. They would give her a lot of like little knickknacks, and she would just be there like playing with all this stuff. Dude. So funny. It's just awesome. And like if you see her now, like, she is the same exact person. She has, like, you go to her house and she does a lot of cosmetology stuff. Like, she does hair and makeup and all that stuff. So she has her own little, like, honestly, salon, and she's really good at it. Yeah. But she's, like, really artistic, too. So her house is beautiful because, like, the way she decorates it. Yeah. But now she has a daughter. And she'll do, like, all these little things for her daughter. Like, she'll, like, build all these little things. I actually have a few of the knickknacks that she's given me somewhere around here.
That's great.
And it's just, like, stuff that she did as a kid. She's doing it as an adult now. But it's awesome. But, yeah. Dude,
that right there. Stuff she did as a kid, she was doing as an adult. The amount of shit that I'm, like, naturally good at, that teachers had told me, like, this is, fucking shame me for, is just the things I'm good at. And in my life as an adult is the things I excel at. And I just, it's like, okay, I'll just sit here and be a fucking turkey. Whatever. We're looking for knickknacks.
Yeah, there's something she's gave me, and I know I have it somewhere around here.
I love a knickknack. Clicky clacky thing.
Yeah, I have it somewhere. I have to.
Yeah. Like if anyone goes back and watches this podcast or any of our podcast videos, just watch the amount that I move in this chair versus the amount Day moves in this chair and the amount that I have repositioned myself. I am in a constant state of motion.
Where is it? I'm going to...
Not only did you say, quote, here. This chick I know.
So she...
You lost her nickname.
This little donut.
Oh, that's so cool.
And this little bread.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I gotta show the camera these. Where am I? There we go.
The little bread, it looks...
There we go.
It looks like a little worm.
And then we got a donut.
Yep.
Let's see. There we go. It's focused. Our knickknacks. These are sick.
Right? They're just so
cool.
Cute. And I love knickknacks, and she's good at making them. So, yeah, I have it here. I know I had it somewhere. Oh. Okay.
The knickknacks are great. So, yeah, that's the advice I would give. Gamify your life. It also makes things more fun. Okay. Any follow-ups with that?
Nah.
Okay. Last one, which maybe we can make a post about, too, separately, because this is maybe an in-depth question, but... Day, I'll pitch this to you first. Can you explain volume, reps, and load in depth? How do I know when to vary reps and load?
So, wait, say it again.
Do you want to read it?
Yes, actually.
I'm catching on, dude.
Can you explain volume, reps, and load in depth?
That's adaptive learning right there.
That is. That's pretty good. So volume is the amount of work you're doing, and it depends on what you're doing, right? If you're running, then usually volume is looked at as duration or mileage. And then if you're lifting, usually that's looked at sets times reps times load. You can look at it that way. If you want to look at just sets and reps, you can do that as well, but mostly sets, reps, and load. So it's the amount of work you're doing. And then you could also look at it from, like, if you're an athlete, the amount of movement you're doing in all three axes. Axes? Yeah.
Axes?
I don't
know, dude. You're the nerd, bro.
Yeah, no, I don't speak
I don't speak nerd.
I don't know. Anyways, and this gets into like what I actually do working for a company called Connexon, which is a sport technology company. And we do a lot of load management stuff. So obviously for lifting and running and endurance work, it's one thing. But when it comes to athletes that are moving a lot of different directions, a lot of them use either a GPS sensor or something called an IMU sensor, which is an inertial measurement unit. And it's essentially like a little gyroscope that's in the sensor. Wow. They put the sensor on either in their, like, a patch that's sewn onto their pants or a bra. And it measures all the movement that they're doing throughout a session. So then at the end, the data that's collected by the sensor is put into this algorithm, proprietary algorithm. It spits out how much work they did. So then you can see trends of, like, okay, this volleyball player had this much load this session, blah, blah, blah. This is what they normally do in a game, and you have an understanding of that. So volume could be looked at a lot of different ways because movement is all over the place. And there's different ways of doing it. But for typical lifting, which I think is what she was talking about, sets, reps, load, multiplying that number and just looking at that is the typical way people do it. But then there's nuances to that as well. And I see that all the time, people talking about what load actually means, if they consider this or that. So like you said, we can make a post about getting in depth on that. And then reps, the amount of... So reps is interesting, right? Because we look at that. That's a pretty straightforward one where it's like, okay, how much reps you did. You can just do the amount of sets and the reps per set. You can do that. But then also, what if you're looking at the depth of the movement? So like a quarter squat will be different than a full squat. Or if you're doing 1.5 squats, then that's different, right? One rep is not the same as one rep of a normal squat.
Sure.
So then you could get into nuances there. And then load, just the amount of weight that you're doing. And then how to know when to vary reps and load. I think that's where seeing where you want to go and how you're responding to what you're doing. So I'll use an example of, like, me when I was doing CrossFit. I was at a point where I was doing quite a bit. I was training like 3 to 4 hours a day of CrossFit work, and that's a mixture of, CrossFit workouts, pure lifting, skill work. So, it varied. And then when it came time from week to week, how I would respond, I would change my workouts and progress based on how I was responding. But there was a point in time where it was just so much for me for what I was able to give. I was eating really well because I was very tuned in with that, but I wasn't recovering enough in terms of my sleep. So like I felt like trash every day. So it's like I varied it by bringing it down versus if I'm responding well to it and I'm improving. For me, I'm like, I might keep it the same, or that's where I'll increase load or reps depending on what I'm trying to get at. So if your typical strength and conditioning like principles or programming and periodization, there's like different kinds, but the typical one, I think they call it block periodization, where it's like you go through an accumulation phase, and that's where you're increasing. Most of the time you're increasing reps or sets, so you're increasing volume, and then you go to like this other phase once you do that for a set amount of time, whether that's 4, 8, 10 weeks, however. Then you move on and you're like, okay, I'm no longer trying to build volume. I've done that. My tissue tolerance is now higher, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm going to try to get stronger. So instead of increasing reps, I'm actually going to increase load, and I may actually decrease reps. So 1 week I'll do 3 sets of 5 at 100 pounds. The next week I'll do 3 sets of 3 at 110 to 115 pounds, right? So you kind of vary it that way, but I think if you have a coach, obviously they usually know what they're doing and they'll help you guide through that. But the biggest thing is like the feedback that you give them. I can have this perfect plan that's like the science says this is the best, and I've gone through it and it is the best, and like this is how I responded, this is how a lot of my athletes have responded. But if you're not responding to it, then something's got to change. And it's like sometimes people can't handle the volume because of lifestyle factors or whatever, or they're not there yet. Maybe they can't handle the load. Maybe you have to bring both of them down. It all depends. And that's where like things can get hairy.
Yeah, I would say for Amelia specifically, thinking about this and like for the perspective of someone getting into like traditional weightlifting, because Amelia's worked out at the gym for a while in our group style classes, and I think she's venturing into some like traditional like strength training. You know, there's some pretty easy cheats you can take of like, you know, every week just see if you can add weight to the bar until that stops working. And that can work for people for quite a long time. She's doing an accumulation phase right now, but I have her descending in reps into like a powerlifting program. So I think they start at like 10 reps and then it's 8, 6, 6. And then as the strength phase comes in, they walk into like a 3x5. And then they are descending down into like a 5x2. And then they'll hit their peak and then they'll do their stuff. But I think if you go watch Day's Instagram would be a really good indicator of like, the first question I would have is, are you working out hard enough, you know, to be worrying about progression? And then I know you track your weights, but sometimes you're just going to like near failure, right? Like for building muscle, I believe the literature says you can go from like 6 reps to 30 reps. As long as you're close to failure, you're going to see almost identical outcomes. The thing I will say for an untrained lifter is good luck finding out at 30 reps. A muscular failure. Like you'll hit, I think, fatigue, which is different, right? Than what muscular failure would be. Like you're just exhausted, you're out of breath, whatever. So I'm a big fan. Like if you just go super traditional, I think 6 to 12 reps, but just make sure that when you get to 6 or 7 or whatever it is, it's really hard. Maybe you could do one more. And then next week, grab the same weight, do the same thing, and then see if you can't get another rep. Still being like 1 or 2 shy of failing. And I think for someone who's just beginning, like you can kind of run that playbook for a long time of just like run it really hard until you can't. And as long as you're eating pretty well, you can kind of push that one for a long time. And then as you get more progressed into exercising, you do have to manage these volumes a little bit more. I think, well, personally, running is a much harder volume for me to manage. Like I said, I can kind of, as long as I'm eating like a truck, I can just kind of keep going and lifting and just push through and work really hard. Running, I tried the 10% rule, which for progressing for runs, like normally you don't want to go over 10% of volume per week, right? Of increasing mileage or duration or whatever it is.
Well, that's like what is said.
You said.
That's like the popular thing, right?
The popular thing.
Yeah.
It's like, don't go over 10%.
I have my thoughts about that.
Yeah, but I've also seen that that's too much.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah, for a lot of people, that's too much. So, it's kind of like any rule you find in strength conditioning or running or whatever is like it's not a rule, it's a guideline, because then you have people who do like what would be based on rules, like super physiological shit, where you're like, how does this person get away with this? I don't know, and I don't think anyone does. It's like they just get away with it. So I think the best thing to go by for Amelia's answer, and for most of the general population, for lifting, I won't talk on running because I am not the person to talk to, is just like, honestly, try really hard. And once you've tried really hard in every session for months or years, then let's start breaking down the nitty-gritty of stuff. Or if you want to yourself do the research, by all means. But I think the principle that needs to be maintained is like the effort has to be really high.
Yeah.
For everything. If you do like any of the obscure methods, still, I think trying really hard. Like if you get into the coiling stuff, like we've talked about it. Anything you do, just try really hard at it, and I think you'll make progress in the direction that you are going. As long as you know the direction, then just give it all your effort, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, and I think if you're starting off, especially in the strength training side, there's a lot of stuff out there, and it's become really popular about like the low volume approach. And I'm like, if you're starting with that, the low volume approach, don't even like think about it. Like, and obviously I'm an N of 1, but I feel like your experiences and what you go through really shape how you view stuff, right? So obviously, like what worked for me was like I had high effort, high intensity on my sessions. I really didn't have a program that I followed for the first 2 years.
Yeah, we've talked about
I would
this.
show up, and I remember like when I was doing ROTC military training, we started our physical training sessions. It was 3 times a week, and it started at 7 a.m. And I would go to the gym because it was more like cardio-based stuff and like group runs and shit like that. So I would go to the gym beforehand to lift, and I wouldn't go with a plan. I would just show up. I'm just like, a freshman in college, and I would just show up and I'm like, I'm gonna hit the chest press today. I'm gonna do leg press, whatever, and just go essentially till failure for a few sets. And then volume was what worked. Yeah. And I think people are getting away from, and I think it'll come back. The pendulum's gonna swing the way back where like volume is gonna be popular again. And I do think it'll get there probably in a few years. But right now the popular thing is like high intensity, low volume, which I think is good if you've built a foundation of years with that. Because at that point you can maintain and even grow with that low volume. But before then, it's like, I don't think so. And I think even for me right now, I kind of took a low volume approach, and I'm like, I don't respond as well to that. I really do. When it comes to strength training, I do, and I've noticed it, respond to high volume. That's just how I'm a responder to. And I'm tired of being a skinny bitch. So I'm going back to the volume, and it's great.
So that's the answer to your question, Amelia. Is super complicated.
But not.
But also just try really hard for a long time until that stops working. And when we say really hard, I'm telling you, just go watch her videos on her story. Try really, really hard. You kind of can't miss. It's a giant dartboard. Throw it really hard. That's it for the questions, I think.
Sweet.
Do you have anything else?
I don't got anything. No.
The only thing I will say, if you get to this part of the podcast, listen to me very carefully. The idea we had that I texted Dave about yesterday was having a poll, doing a poll on here and Instagram and YouTube for you guys to vote on the warm-up, the 2 main exercises, and then 2 supersets or something. We'll build the skeleton of a workout, but then you guys get to vote on what the workout is, and then we'll do the workout.
Yeah.
And videotape it.
Be creative. I think we have most equipment that we need.
Oh, yeah. And if not, we'll just run another poll, and you guys will switch it, or we'll switch it. Yeah. But the thought is, 1, you guys get to get involved, which is kind of fun. But 2, a thing that Day and I talk about is, it kind of doesn't matter. You can kind of make up a bunch of shit. And if you do it really hard, you can see progress. Now, I think we'll have some oversight on the insanity. I'm not doing 7 straight leg exercises or high volume.
Yes.
High volume, high intensity, and we'll see how that goes. Yeah. But yeah, I ain't scared of you. So maybe we'll do that. If you hear this, comment something about that. Comment subscriber workout. That's what you're commenting. Subscriber workout. We'll do a poll for this and just see how it goes. I thought it'd be fun.
Yeah.
And we'll follow it for 6 straight months.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. We'll figure that out.
The longer, the better.
10 years. We'll follow that for the next 10 straight years. All right, that's the podcast. Thank you for watching episode 31. I have no idea what this title will be. They will come up with something clever. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, leave your questions. We'll answer them, hopefully, with some bit of making sense. Probably Day, not me. But that's all, folks.
Wow.
That's it. Have Diet Coke. Later.
Sweet. Oh, that was an hour.
There you go. On the nose.
Hour and 4 minutes.
Good looking.